Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Omniviewer, and I'm here to report on what was revealed in the Godzilla Monster Planet anime event on March 26th. And what was not revealed, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, the first big bit of news is that Godzilla Monster Planet isn't a single film. It is in fact a planned trilogy. What we'll be getting in November is just the first of 3 parts. So that answers where the franchise is going for the next couple of years. What they'll do after that, who can say? We also got full character reveals. And with those reveals, I must admit that I did make a mistake in my predictions. We have Haruo Sakaki, our lead character. Yuko Tani, the childhood friend. Martin Lazari, the environmental biologist. Adam Bindawal, the pilot. Metphius, the Exif, and Muluilu Galugu, the Bilsard. And if you're wondering what an Exif and a Bilsard are, it's because these guys are in fact aliens. Yes, these are the humanoid aliens that had long been rumored for the film, which I had dismissed after we got the plot synopsis. I don't necessarily know what the point of them being aliens is, because they certainly look very human, but I guess we just have to wait and see how things play out. Contrary to what some of us were predicting, there were no trailers shown at the event. And as of this recording, nothing has been posted anywhere resembling a trailer. It's possible they just don't have any finished animation to show us yet, but there's something else we didn't get to see. Godzilla. Yup. Still no sign of the King of the Monsters or anything resembling a monster anywhere in association with this film. You know, when I started this whole process in my video that analyzed the second image, I expressed my concern that we weren't seeing Godzilla. Throughout this whole process, it seemed very suspicious to me that we were getting all these different teaser images for a movie called Godzilla, because for a long time that's the only title we had, and yet nowhere was Godzilla present. I already disproved that this was one of his spines, and yes, my attention was drawn to this formation in the poster, but there is such a thing as pareidolia, you know. That's basically seeing shapes in the clouds. Or in this case, plants. As things progressed, I tried bringing myself around to the idea that Toho was holding back because they were planning a really big reveal. And this convention event was where that big reveal would happen. We would finally get something, even if it was just a glimpse. The event has come and gone. Where's our glimpse? Now, I'm back to my initial concerns. In fact, this strange unwillingness to show us anything resembling a monster, combined with the knowledge that this is a trilogy, suddenly has me thinking Toho has showed us nothing because they have nothing to show us. Literally. I suddenly have a feeling that this movie won't feature Godzilla in anything but the briefest of cameos. The trend in Japanese cinema of late is that when they make multi-part films, that basically means they're taking one really long story and splitting it somewhere. That's what they did with stuff like Death Note and Attack on Titan. And yes, even though that guarantees you a sequel, the end result is that you have movies which are incomplete. The first movie, guaranteed to end on a cliffhanger. And you can't watch the second movie without having watched the first one. Now I have a very bad feeling about how Godzilla Monster Planet could go. We get an opening explaining what happened, with Godzilla only making brief appearances here and there, mostly obscured or not fully shown or kept in shadow. Then the entire rest of the movie takes place on the Aratrum, with the humans getting to this Tau Cetus E planet, discovering they can't live there, the Earth Returnists leading their uprising, then turning the ship around and going back to Earth, the scouting party lands, suddenly a monster, maybe Godzilla, maybe something else, appears, and boom! Cut to black, credits roll, now you have to see the second movie to find out what happens. Is that a worst case scenario? Yes. Yes it is. But a scenario it remains nonetheless. And here's the part that really worries me. So far, when it comes to making predictions about these things, I've been right far more often than I've been wrong. Like I said, I was wrong to dismiss the aliens. You've got me there. But I was right about humans returning to post-apocalyptic Earth being the plot. I was right about there being no connection to Shin Godzilla. For crying out loud, I was right about Aratrum being the name of the ship and not the aliens, and I was just spitballing that time. And the real problem is, I don't want to be right about this. I don't want to be right about Godzilla being a non-entity in his own film. Yet the more puzzle pieces we get, the clearer the image becomes, and so far, that's what it's looking like to me. Look, if you're one of the people who's been following all of this, and you see no reason to be concerned at all, great! I'm happy for you. I wish I could be there with you. I really wish I could say that there's nothing concerning me about this. But I can't say that. At the end of the day, I'm gonna call it like I see it, and there are red flags everywhere with this thing. Oh, and just to really prove my point about wishing we had an image of Godzilla somewhere, a reboot of the giant robot series Mazinger Z was also announced recently. That too is a very long-running franchise. Not as long as Godzilla, but still pretty substantial history. This was the first teaser image released for that. And what do you know? The eponymous robot is taking up most of it. It's a slightly different design, and yes, we don't see the whole thing, but we've still gotten a glimpse. You know, a tease. And to repeat a point I made earlier, the first teaser image we got for Shin Godzilla was a footprint. Which, yes, it's just a footprint, but it still had far more Godzilla in it than the eight teaser images we have gotten so far for this anime film. Look, like I said, if you're part of the crowd that sees nothing to be worried about, I wish I could be there with you. But until we see a trailer or an image or anything at all that tells me otherwise, I'm back to my original concern. I'm back to thinking that Godzilla will be a non-entity in this film. Ball's in your court, Toho. Prove me wrong. I'm begging you, prove me wrong. I'm sure none of you liked hearing this at all, but I'm the sort of person who has to be honest, and these are my honest feelings. I really hope something comes along to assuage my concerns. Well, as always, feel free to leave your thoughts below. Until such time as we meet again, this is the OmniViewer, signing off.